cotter pins. They can be a bit of a pain sometimes. What they are basically a wedge of metal with a thread on top that we use to sort of clamp this arm down to the axle on both sides. They're nice and easy to install, but to get out they can be a right pain in the ass sometimes. What I'd normally do is have my bike in my frame at home, my workstation at home, so it's all clamped up. I'd get a piece of wood like this. The heat's turned off. So I'd get a piece of wood like this. I would drill a hole out, pop that hole on the inside of the crank like so, on the inside, so that the pin can drop into the hole, so that the crank arm here is supported by this bit of timber. I do that so that when you unwind this nut on top, not fully, just a little bit, and then hopefully it will only take one blow or two, but once you start hammering it down to try and knock it back out, that the shock isn't absorbed by the frame wobbling around, it's supported and all the force can go into the pin. That being said, it doesn't always work. As you can see by this pin, if it focuses, this pin is now slightly bent over, which is annoying. This pin was really stuck, really stuck. So when I started to hammer it, it started to bend over on itself. You can still get them out. It's a bit of a pain to do, but there is a way, and it's drilling them out. So I'm going to try and show you how to do that. Hopefully it will work. I've only done it once before. And then if you ever get stuck, you know how to get a broken or bent cotter pin out of your crank arms. Before I go getting the drill out and start drilling that out and cutting it off, I just want to try one more time knocking it out, so to speak. Knocking one out. Holes. So the bolt is unwound slightly. The crank is going to be supported on that. It's held in place by my 2 bits of wood because I'm doing this not in my garage. If this comes out now, no way. It's gone down, but I think I'm just destroying the nut. Okay, so that pin is stuck in there completely. It is not going to come out. Also, the worrying thing about this I've just noticed is I think the spider arms of this crank, or crank set, chain set, whatever you want to call it, I think it's separated from the actual crank arm itself because I can wobble it and move it. Just slightly worried. You shouldn't be doing that, I'm pretty sure. We'll see when we get it off, if we get it off. But the first thing I want to do is cut this off. So I'm getting a grinder. Okay, noise over. So now I've got a relatively flat surface on there to work with. There we go. So what I'm going to do now is punch a centre hole in it and then start drilling it out one size at a time, and hopefully that will come out. So by my rough guesstimations, the centre should be about there, hopefully. Ish. Now what you want to do is try and get the best drill bits you've got. I'm going to be using some cobalt drill bits. But also make sure you lube up the drill bit itself so that it doesn't get too hot and doesn't die on you. I could take these chain rings off, so I've got a bit more clearance. $5mm drill bit stuff. Let's just break the drill bit. Be careful of that. Okay, be careful of that. The crank, this part, goes through the axle, sorry. The axle's hardened. So it's going to snap your drill bits if you catch it. Which means I've caught it. So I completely forgot to record this part. I got too ahead of myself. But anyway, I drilled through it until I hit the crank. Hit the axle, basically. The drill bit snapped. I'd gone up to a 6.5mm. What I wanted to try and do was break away, drill enough out, even if it was off centre, so that the wall of what I wanted to drill enough out so that the wall from part of that outer diameter was broken. That meant that if I stuck this M8, this 8mm, into the hole and hammered it out, hopefully it would collapse just a tiny bit and break away. And it has. I didn't get this on camera, but I put the 8mm in, hammered it, and what came out in the bottom? It's stuck in there at the moment, but and there we go. That, let me zoom right in. Can I go here? This is the Cotter pin. Take my gloves off. That's what's left over. So you can see, I don't know if you can see, the wedge shape, yeah? What I did was drill through enough that it broke that outer diameter. There, you can see straight through it. It was off centre slightly, but just that caused it, was enough for it to break away and come out. And now the crank can come straight off. So that's fixed that. Just got the other side to do now. But hopefully that will help someone, or a lot of people. You just need, what do you need? So to recap, if this technique doesn't work with the wood underneath and just knocking it through, you got to keep the nut on. You got to keep the nut on. So you got to put the wood underneath, undo the nut ever so slightly, and then knock it through. If that doesn't work, then what I did was just grind the top flat, centre punch a hole, and then worked up my way through different drill bit sizes. So I started with a 3, 4, 5, 6 and finished on a 6.5 when I clipped the axle here, which is hardened, and it broke my drill bit. So then what I did was just get a larger diameter bolt. I used an 8mm and just hammered it through, and that came out fine. So that's it, fairly simple, but if your cutter pin's stuck, it saves you a lot of grief trying to knock it through, because it will just keep on bending over. Hope this video's helped. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you'd like. I've got more of these videos coming. I've got more of the videos on the channel previously, bike restoration. Yeah, and thanks for watching. I will catch you in the next one. Actually, before I finish up, I found a proper cotter pin that I managed to get out successfully. So you can see the indents there that I've made in the top, where I've used a big fat chisel to get some good purchase on it and good weight, and it just managed to hit it a couple of times and it came straight out. So that's a nice easy one to do. Okay, on with the ending of the video.